All right, Brian. So I know that you are a singer,
Yeah.
and so let's talk a little bit about singing because I love music myself.
Hmm.
I think I maybe could be a good singer, but my voice is really low.
Yeah.
So a lot of the songs that I would like to actually sing are rock songs, and
Right.
my range is too low because I think I'm a
Right.
bass baritone maybe.
Well, you can work on it too, right? You can expand your range if you do vocal exercises.
Okay.
There's a program I use, and then you literally do, I guess, scales going up and down, and you go incrementally higher and higher. If you do this on a regular basis, it'll loosen the muscles in your throat, your vocal cords,
Okay.
and over time you'll be surprised how high you can sing. So I mean, like, in you having a low voice, you have a huge advantage that your your support in your throat is just going to be a lot bigger and wider, so that when you
Okay.
get to the higher notes, it's going to sound a lot different than someone who naturally can hit those notes. So I mean, like,
That is pretty cool. I was
yeah,
not aware of this.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, if you spend like 3 or 6 months like doing this, and then try again, like singing a different song, I'm pretty damn sure you'd make substantial progress.
Nice, excellent. I should really look into it because it's
Yeah.
something that I'm really passionate about, and I love music. You can see I got my guitar there,
Yep. Yep.
and basically, yeah. But the funny thing is that, of course, without vocal training, trying to sing, songs that are sung by most rock stars is disastrous for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I really can't hit those notes, and I can try to
Yeah.
sing them at an octave lower,
Right.
and
Right.
and then more or less like hit some of those notes. But the funny thing is that, of course, some bands are going to be easier for me to sing. For instance, anything by The Doors, because Jim Morrison was a baritone as well, so it's
Right, yeah.
a bit more manageable. And what's your range?
I guess it's baritone tenor. I actually started singing bass because I couldn't even hit
Wow,
the high
okay.
notes. Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
That's very low. Like
yeah.
bass
Well,
is
it was in high school, right? So I mean,
Okay.
like, you either had tenor or bass, or if you're
Right,
a girl,
okay.
it's either soprano or alto.
okay.
Right?
So there was no basically
No.
baritone and
There's
all
no
the
baritone section.
the fachs actually, yeah,
Yeah,
in
exactly.
opera and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
So I mean, I was not comfortable singing tenor notes. I couldn't do it. And I
Okay.
couldn't. So it was over time that I tried to expand my range. It wasn't until I actually like did vocal exercises that I made a huge improvement.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
So-
Interesting. And now, what do you like to sing?
I like anything hard rock or metal.
Nice.
As long as it's melodic.
Okay.
I don't do any like growling, or it's always
Or Pantera, perhaps.
Yeah. So it's always singing. I definitely.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to when I was a kid. I was into all sorts of rock, including even louder rock like Pantera.
Yeah.
And but no, yeah, like I'm the same way. I think my favorite bands are probably the Doors. Most bands from the grunge generation. So
Right.
I love Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains especially. Actually, love Alice in Chains. And I actually had the pleasure to see Alice in Chains live. I think it was 2007.
Cool.
When they came here, and the original singer had already passed away. It was the new guy, but he was quite fantastic. I can't remember his name right now though. And what are some of your favorite bands?
Iron Maiden and Judas Priest are.
Iron Maiden, nice.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden's quite popular in Brazil, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I
super.
didn't
Like
know that.
people in Brazil have good musical taste.
Yeah.
And they really like.
Yeah.
In Brazil, as far as I remember, of course, maybe people's tastes have changed, but there's always been quite a bit of interest in classic rock and metal and but
Cool.
yeah, Iron Maiden was
Cool.
like huge, at least like 20 years ago when I used to
Yeah,
live
yeah.
there, basically.
Well, they
And
have Rock in Rio there, right?
Rock in Rio,
So
yeah.
I know they performed there, and it was like 250,000 people.
Oh yeah, people show up to
Yeah,
that.
that's amazing.
And
That's
I
amazing.
almost went in 2001 or 2000, I think, and I think that Guns N' Roses, but Slash wasn't in
Right,
it.
yeah.
It was Axl Rose and Buckethead and
Right.
some other guys, and but in the same concert that I saw Alice in Chains here in Vancouver, I actually saw Slash, because Slash was with Scott Weiland in
Oh, right, Velvet Revolver.
Velvet Revolver.
Right?
Yeah, and it was quite a fantastic show. Um, I was also a pretty big Stone Temple Pilots fan, and so I was pretty choked when Scott Weiland passed away this last year,
Yeah.
because he was just so incredibly talented, and it's just a shame that he obviously had this drug problem.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
so-
was shocked. I mean, like, I guess you know it's going to come at some point, but when it happened, you're still shocked.
True,
right?
yeah. So yeah, there were always news that that perhaps he wasn't doing well and so on. And what I found specifically interesting was that he was a bit older, right? Like then the usual rock star that passed away from
Yeah.
a drug overdose,
Exactly.
right? Like
Yeah.
so obviously Kurt Cobain died at 27. Of course, it wasn't. It was drug related because he committed suicide, perhaps triggered by, I don't know, heroin or whatever,
Yeah.
which kind of,
Yeah.
of course, really sucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, and Nirvana was also huge in Brazil, and they played in Rock in Rio, I believe, in '93.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Unreal.
and they have some footage of Kurt Cobain actually forgetting the lyrics to Polly on stage. Yeah, and he just, you can, and he was just smiling, and people were just cheering and screaming, and I think Dave Grohl in the background was just like, he just kept going, and it was, we can probably find that on YouTube, so it's kind of funny.
Okay, sure, we can watch it after, yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
And what bands do you like to sing?
Same with that, like, I sing Maiden and Priest. I also sing some older AC/DC stuff, like with the original singer.
Nice.
So, like, yeah, when I performed with one of my earlier bands at the Roxy, I opened with Whole Lotta Rosie.
Nice. That's so cool.
Yeah, so that's
How long ago was this?
about 3 years ago now.
3 years ago? Nice.
Yeah.
As a note for the listeners, the Roxy is a pretty popular nightclub here in Vancouver, and I also played there in like perhaps 4 times with my last band as well, and it is quite a popular venue. It's not very large, but not as it's not a stadium or anything, of course. But it's very popular, especially for rock bands. And on a Friday, on a Saturday night, it will normally be absolutely packed with people. And normally, if a band from Vancouver is playing at the Roxy, that means that they are getting some recognition at least.
Yeah.
Because like it's not any band that will play at the Roxy, essentially.
Yeah.
So are you still in the same band?
No, right now I'm not in a band. I had an audition 2 weeks ago, so I'm still waiting to hear back from them.
Okay.
But, no, this used to be like my life. Like I used to like spend all my time practicing and like wanting to do this. And now like the past, I'd say a year or two, I've devoted most of my time to my son.
Okay.
Like, he needed help at school with his studies, and then so any of my dreams or anything I want to do, it kind of just he became what I wanted to focus on.
No,
right?
that's legitimate. I mean, that means that you're a good father.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
No, well, like I hope that you also have the chance to pursue that dream as well. Because I think that obviously, if you can do that, and if you can get some recognition as well, perhaps as a singer and so on, that everyone's going to benefit, including your son. But I think that, of course, obviously it's a tough industry, right? So like
Exactly.
if you become a rock star, then you're going to be on the road a lot,
Exactly.
and of course, then unless of course family comes with, then it becomes, I guess, a bit challenging, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, so good luck, Brian, and perhaps in the future as well, what we can do is play some music together.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
No problem.